Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dalaran, and in today's video we're gonna do something different. Regularly do I get a question of how do I have so many damn ults in Battle for Azeroth while still being able to maintain and keep up with my rogue. So in today's video I just kind of want to share with you guys some of the ways that I've been passively leveling a lot of my characters no matter which expansion the game has ever been in. Passive leveling is kind of like a way for me to level a bunch of characters very slowly but over time. This allows me a lot more time on my rogue and focusing on the channel while being able to bring up a bunch of different classes that I am interested to play, as well as the new allied races that are available and race class combinations that I would want to play in the game. It's not the fastest leveling method by far. If you want to grind out a character, that's going to be the easiest way to do it, is to just grind them out. But I'm someone who wants to maintain my rogue. I want to be able to play all three specs of rogue fairly well, whether it is for PvP or PvE. And with Battle for Azeroth, it takes a little bit of time to get up the item level, to get best in slots, to really putting the time into the content to get the gear I need. So I opted out to maintain with the channel and my busy schedule to do passive leveling for a lot of my characters. Bunch of classes I can show off on stream, learn how to play, and prepare for patch 8.1 with all the different class changes that's right around the corner. So in this video, I just want to give you guys as many of my passive leveling methods that I have under my belt and show you guys how you can do it, and the amount of time you need to spend with all your characters just to passively level them becomes very minor, allowing you guys to focus on that one character that you're trying to better in the current end game. Before we really dive into the actual passive leveling methods, first of all you want to make sure you have all your heirlooms. You'll find the heirlooms in the Undercity and in Ironforge. There'll be a vendor at 2 different locations. For anybody who wants to go to Undercity and you've already done Battle for Lordaeron, when you port to Undercity from Dalaran, the Legion Dalaran, there should be an NPC for you to talk to that'll take you back to Lordaeron before it was completely obliterated. In this video, I want to break down the leveling ranges starting from the earliest level possible and then kind of going up and up and up towards level 120. So it is going to be kind of chronological. So let's say you want to level a brand new allied race. Maybe you have a main that's a priest and you just want to look like a Magha orc, but you really need to unlock that heritage armor. That means you will have to level a character from level 20 to max. I found that the best way to do that has been by playing a monk. It doesn't mean I actually want to play a monk, but monks get a passive from their sanctuary that you can teleport to any day, and that buff increases your XP gain by 50%. It's a daily quest that you get to do that gives you a little bit of extra experience, plus a stacking XP buff, and I have mine currently stacked at about maximum of 24 hours. But the best part is you can log in, not even spend 10 minutes on a character, do a quest, turn it in, and gain this XP buff that you can continue on at a later time. It's a very passive method. It's not really fast, but that's the point of this video. The best part is there's a couple moving parts. One, for this method you can have war mode on to get the extra XP. Second, make sure at the end of your quest, once you leave Sanctuary, park your character in Stormwind or Orgrimmar to get rested XP, which will count towards your quest gain. And if for whatever reason you decide that you want to grind out that character and get the allied race heritage armor right now this character has a bunch of rested XP, has the monk buff available, maybe even up to 24 hours like me, so it's a perfect time to turn on a live stream for 24 hours, and see how far you can get with that character. Being a monk, you can also queue as a tank or a healer for dungeons, which means queues are going to be pretty quick, and as a decent DPS that has a fair amount of mobility, leveling I feel like is going to be fairly easy. Then we have Warlords of Draenor, and I'll be honest, I love the passive leveling for the zone because I hate Warlords of Draenor. Don't get me wrong, I had my fun with the expansion. I feel like my channel definitely has had a fair amount of growth through Warlords, but the quests and the repeatability of them is so low, I just don't really enjoy it. Come on, there must be some zone that you guys don't like questing, and there has to be at least one of those. But for Warlords of Draenor, there's 2 ways to do it. You can either grind through all the quests very slowly, you can either buy a potion, spend a bunch of gold, and it's a lot of preparation, but you can basically skip it. And then there is the passive option of just simply going a treasure hunt. Warlords of Draenor is filled with treasures and rares, and a lot of these treasures give you experience. Experience you can just kind of farm up in a single setting if you want to, or passively over time. It's the type of setting where you don't really need to experience combat all that much. Instead, you actually go and explore every nook and cranny of Warlords of Draenor and all the expansive zones that Blizzard spent the time creating. So you can kind of just log in for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, load up an add-on that lets you see all the treasures, link down below if you want to get it. Or if you have a second monitor, just Google up a image of the map, which is what I've been doing, and just go and collect some treasures while enjoying the landscapes and all the different secrets you might find in the game. This definitely is a lot more helpful if you have flying unlocked, that is, if you did play in Warlords of Draenor. Then we arrive to Legion, and in Legion you have such great ways of passively leveling your character. Once you hit Legion and unlock your Order Hall, you'll be able to eventually unlock Order Hall missions. Some of those missions will give your character experience, so you only just want to log on if you barely want to play that character but still want to grind out XP. Log on, make sure to send your followers and the mission and collect it whenever it is done, and make sure to send them back right away. The best way to level and passively level through Legion though is the demon invasions. I'm so glad Blizzard did not discontinue those because they still happen on the Isles over and over and over. It's an invasion where you basically get to do world quests, but instead of doing actual quests themselves, you're doing world quests that give you insane amounts of XP. All you have to do is make sure to pay attention to Wowhead to see if the timers are up for your region, NA or EU or wherever you're from, and try to see if you can log on during that time and try to see if you can complete the invasion itself. For demon invasions in Legion, I would not really recommend war mode. Well, I guess it depends on your situation. The reason why I wouldn't exactly recommend it, although it can be helpful, if yes, it does increase the XP gain, and that is really nice. You also get access to honor towns, which can make certain boss fights, for example, a lot easier to deal with. But the invasions are not really the concurrent content. There's not nearly as many people at max level trying to do them. So finding groups can be difficult. So if you are turning on war mode and there's a lot of alliance and you're a solo horde player and you keep getting ganked every time you try to do a world quest, it can really just slow down the experience. So the war mode part is really up to you. Your mileage will vary, but whether you have war mode on or off, the amount of experience you gain per one of these is at least about a level. So if you're able to do them once a day, you will only need 10 days or so before your character hits level 110, where you can advance into Battle for Azeroth zones. I made a video on this before, but once you're on BFA, my favorite part has been to just do islands. Island expeditions. I like to park my character over in Borealis or in Dazar Alor, somewhere in an inn so I can collect rested XP. And once a day, I make sure to log on to do my one island at the very least. I feel like the first island you do a day gives you a little bit extra experience, so as long as you're able to do at least one a day, it's probably the best way to passively level your character. Although you can definitely grind those out since you'll be, level 110 or 111, 112, like you'll be really close to 120. So sometimes I look at those characters and I'm thinking, I can maybe spend about an hour doing islands, and you may be able to get 1 or 2 levels in a single session. The closer these characters are to max level, I feel like the easier it is to level them. And that's exactly what I've been doing with my characters, and that's why I have so many alts. I don't really invest that much time on my alts. I try to make sure my main has all of my attention, even though I would love to get my alts all set up and raid ready and wearing some best in slot gear. I simply just cannot get away from my rogue. But I am interested in leveling other allied races and leveling other classes, especially on US. I'm actually considering of resubbing to EU once patch 8.1 hits because I have about half of all the classes I play on US and my other half is all on EU. All 110, ready to hit 120 as soon as possible. So I'm just trying to figure out which characters don't want to play, don't want to deal with the EU latency. I might resub, but who knows. But thank you guys so much for watching, and if you ever were wondering why does Dalaran have so many ults and how can Dalaran just randomly be playing rogue the whole time and then bam, all of a sudden he has like a Shadow Priest max level or a Woundwalker Monk max level, that's exactly how I've been leveling a lot of my characters for a while, very passively over time. I kind of like that idea, trying to be as efficient as possible while making sure that my main has as much attention as it requires. Thank you guys so much for watching, hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see all of you guys in the next one.